Obi-Wan works in mysterious ways. That much we have come to figure out. He not only talked to Luke about his father and his old life as a Jedi, but he gave him the Skywalker lightsaber. From Skywalker to Skywalker, now the tradition would continue with a new hope with Luke Skywalker. However, it would be a while after that Luke would come back to Kenobi's hut after the Death Star was destroyed and actually find a secret of Obi-Wan's that would go on to help Luke and answer any question that he had. Unfortunately for Luke, however, now that the Death Star was destroyed, everybody was after him, including Darth Vader, who sent the bounty hunter we know and love to a familiar planet. Boba Fett ended up on Tatooine trying to find the pilot who destroyed the Death Star. He was in fact hired by Vader himself. He was instructed to bring Luke alive. While Boba was asking and even torturing folks for information all around the city, Luke together with R2 were slowly approaching Obi-Wan's hut. He had no clue what he could find, but whatever it is, there was something left for him more that could teach him the ways of the Force. Right at that time, a Tusken Raider appears, proceeds to attack Luke as he ignites his lightsaber and defends against this attacker. But when he sees Obi-Wan's hut, it was crawling with sand people. They not only had discovered the hut, but they knew that it was abandoned. Luke and R2 together attacked the sand people with the sole purpose of removing them from Obi-Wan's house. With luck, he didn't really have to kill any. The sand people this time were easily startled as they ran, and now the path was clear for Luke to enter. He turned off his lightsaber. He was at the door. All he felt at this time was anger and frustration. He knew all too well that this was not the path to become a Jedi Knight. He desperately needs answers, and that is precisely why he has come to the hut. As he entered, the hut had become a hot-heaving mess. All the sand people that were crawling around had distorted the entire area into a shambled house. Whatever the situation was, he together with R2 started investigating. He wondered why Ben Kenobi went on to spend all these years in the middle of nowhere, on Tatooine with nobody but himself. Suddenly, R2 comes upon something. It was a book that was titled For Luke. Finally, young Skywalker had found what he was searching for. Right at that time, a flash grenade is thrown inside the hut and it blows up, blinding Luke momentarily. He couldn't see, but behind him was the infamous Boba Fett. He has found his target. Luke could not see anything. Behind him, R2 was stunned as well. Suddenly, he gets hit in the face. It was the butt end of Boba's rifle, which is pointed at his head. He ordered him to stay down. Skywalker. Boba knew who he really was. Luke was pretending. Sky who? As he punched Boba Fett, but ended up hurting himself. His hand was hurting from the armor. First, he thought that Boba was a stormtrooper, while Boba didn't want to waste time. Luke was asking too many questions. Boba again told him not to move as he was approaching Luke in order to cuff him, but Luke knew all too well that if he wanted to kill him, he would have done so by now. Somebody ordered Boba to bring him in alive. Boba was done. He kicked Luke in the face in hopes to subdue and carry him to his ship, but suddenly Luke ignites his blue lightsaber. He's not going anywhere with Fett. Boba dismissed him. He couldn't fight him even if he could see. What makes him think you can fight me blind? A Jedi didn't need to see, according to Luke. As he flung his lightsaber trying to hit the bounty hunter, Boba was trying his best to evade a scattered attack by Luke. Boba stepped back and fired his grappling hook in order to try and capture Skywalker, but Luke quickly cuts it with his lightsaber. Slashes at Boba as he trips over R2. Luke tells him that his armor makes too much noise, but so does his mouth as Boba reveals blades on the side of his hand armor. He lunges towards Luke and cuts him with his blades. "You're running out of options and blood," said Boba. "Put down your lightsaber." Luke was trying to say that Ben would never, but Kenobi was dead. He can't help you anymore. He already has, as Luke prepared for an attack, but Boba shot him in the shoulder. He was getting tired tired of this. Boba did need to take him in alive, but that meant only breathing. Using only one hand, Luke held his lightsaber, still confident he can take on Fett. He can feel the Force. Boba told him to feel this as he shot his blaster at Luke, but in a stunning twist, a blind Luke hits the blast with his lightsaber and propels it back at Boba. He narrowly escapes the blast using his jetpack as he barrels into Luke, and the lightsaber drops from his hand. Both were going for the hill, trying to grab it before the other, but suddenly a box hits Boba right in the head as he falls to the ground, unconscious. It was R2. He had saved Luke from impending doom. In fact, this was the box that they were searching for just before Boba showed up. As Luke is still blind, R2 guides them both to safety. And with that, we end this comic issue, guys. For those of you who are interested in reading this is the 6th issue of the Star Wars comics that started back in 2015. In this failed attempt for Boba to bring in Luke, he at least got to extract the last name from this pilot, which he will reveal to his employer, Darth Vader. What a lot of us are glad to see is that Kenobi's tutorship and masterfulness did not end with his death. He kept instructing Luke, even as a Force ghost and beyond death, with his own diary and guiding Luke to his destiny. As long as the Jedi live, then light would prevail. But of course, what do you guys think about all of this? Talk to me down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe for dailies. Now you can have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you until then.